Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 things I hate about our Nissan Rogue. All right, guys, so I do want to preface that this is our personal Nissan Rogue, and we've had it for about 2.5 years now, at least 2 to 2.5 years. And when we first got it, it had 50,000 miles, and right now it's pushing about 135,000 miles. So we definitely used it. I feel like I have a good grasp on the reliability, the things that are good, the things that are bad on the road. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I say that I absolutely hate about the Nissan Rogue is the transmission. So the Nissan Rogues have what's called a CVT transmission. And the CVT transmission is a variable timing transmission. So it's kind of like a continuous gear versus your traditional transmission where you can really feel and see when the gear is changing. And these transmissions are very weak and very faulty, and it's definitely starting to show signs of that happening. So what it's doing right now is when we accelerate, it just gets really jerky, and it's very concerning. I took it to Nissan. They did say that it does sound like the transmission is starting to go out. They actually issued a recall for the transmissions, but in my opinion, it was a half-baked recall. It extended the warranty up to, like, I think 80,000 miles. Again, this one has 135,000, so we're way past that extended warranty for the CVT transmission. I looked into extended warranties, but that gets very expensive and they're short term, so it's not worth it in my opinion. My cousin also has a Nissan. He has a Nissan Sentra, and he had to have his transmission replaced already. So if you're looking to get a Nissan Rogue, or just any Nissan, because all Nissans use the CVT transmission, it's just something to have in the back of your mind, especially if you're looking to keep it long term. If you have a Nissan or you're looking to get a Nissan and you're within warranty and you think you'll sell it before warranty is out, you should be okay. But just know that the CVT transmissions on these cars are very, very bad. In my opinion, I would never purchase another vehicle that has CVT transmissions just because of how faulty and weak they are. I have no confidence in them. Okay, so the second thing that I really dislike about the Nissan Rogue, it's its body panels. And what I mean by that is, you see here is popped out, and on the other side, same thing. So again, this is a 2017, and when we bought it, again, it had about 40 to 50,000 miles, and the body panel, the front bumper was already popping out like that, and I can hit it and I'll sit flush-ish. But as soon as you start driving and you see it's already popping out, it just won't stay. And there's a gap here that you can see. And when we bought the car, it was a one owner, zero accident car. So it's not that I got in a car accident. I did run Carfax, did my research on it, and no accidents. I think it's just a defect on the body panels. I have seen other Nissan Rogues that do the same thing in my experience. If you guys have a Nissan Rogue and it's doing the same thing, let me know. If not, also let me know. But it's something that I've had to deal with since day one. And you might think that's something so small, but cars are an investment. We work very hard for our money. We all do, right? And you want to buy a car that is, one, reliable, and that will just maintain its integrity. And seeing this just for some reason really, really bothers me. And not just that, but down here you can see the peeling of the bumper. And this is very faded, but I live in Florida and sun is very harsh, so that I won't fault it for. All right, so the third thing that I absolutely hate is the acceleration. It is horrible. Now, I know we didn't buy a race car. It's a small SUV. They're not intended to be fast, but due to the CVT transmission, this car accelerates so slow, to a point where I feel like it's a fault of the car. Now, again, you might think that's very petty, that's nonsense, but if we're trying to move out of traffic, or we need to accelerate at a decent pace, this car, it seems like a struggle. So for one, being that it's a CVT transmission, once you floor it, the RPMs go high and they just stay there. So it just sounds like the motor's about to blow. But that's just a characteristic of the CVT transmissions. That's just how they are. But due to that, it accelerates so slow. It's not a horsepower issue in my opinion. It's just, again, how weak and faulty the CVT transmissions are. They're really, really that terrible, to the point where not only does it affect the reliability of the vehicle, but the acceleration of the car is really, really bad. So some of you guys, that might not seem like a fault of the car, but to me it is, only because it's not, again, confidence inspiring. Like I said, when you floor it, it just revs super high in the RPM and it makes you feel like you're about to blow your motor. So you don't feel like you can use your car to its fullest potential, or if you need to move out the way, you really can't. So it's just an annoying factor of the car that I had to add into the 5 things that I hate. All right, guys, so the 4th thing that I hate about this Nissan Rogue is the AC. So we have had some issues with the AC lately, and again, it was something that I did go to the Nissan dealership and discuss with them, and it is again another known issue for them. There's no recall for it, but what it's doing is you can hear the AC blowing, but it's not coming out of the front vents. Now I changed out the motor actuator, which is what controls the AC flowing from the front vents to the feet, or the defrost, and it still continued to do the same thing. The blend door actuator is not the issue because that just controls the temperatures from hot to cold. They said it's a known issue, and to fix it, they have to replace the whole AC unit behind the dash, is what they told me. And I mentioned this as one of my points because, again, it is a known issue. According to the Nissan tech that I spoke with the Nissan Rogues. I don't know if it's a known issue with all Nissans, but it is with the Nissan Rogue. And again, this is a 2017 model. According to the tech, it's an issue. And I bring it up because it is not a cheap fix. And on top of the fact that it's not a cheap fix, it is a known issue. In my opinion, if it's something that's happening consistently and frequently, it's something that should be recalled and fixed, even if out of warranty, because of it being a known issue. It's a fault with Nissan. So with that said, reason number 4, or point number 4, is the AC. I live in Florida. It gets really hot, and not having a functioning AC is definitely an issue. Now, the 5th thing that I dislike about the Nissan Rogue is the cruise control. What I mean by that, this has active cruise control. So I can set the cruise, let's say, to 45 miles per hour. And if the car in front of me is slowing down, the car will automatically slow down for me. Once the car in front of me reaches speed again, it'll accelerate back up to 45 miles per hour. But the issue is, once it detects that the car in front of me is slowing down, the car doesn't slow down gently. I mean, it's in an abrupt brake, almost like a panic brake. It's like the car goes into panic mode and it brakes super hard to the point where it jerks you forward and it catches you off guard because it's such a hard brake. It's something that I feel like it's a defect, it's a fault. It shouldn't brake that hard unless there is an emergency. But if it's just that the car in front of me is slowing down, there's nothing crazy happening, for it to brake as hard as it does is definitely an issue. I feel like for a new driver or someone that doesn't have a lot of experience driving, that could become something that leads to an accident, just because it does brake so hard. It catches you off guard. Again, someone that's new could go into panic mode. I just think it's not as smooth as it could be. Therefore, that is the 5th thing that I hate about the Nissan Rogue. All right, guys, so there you have it. The 5 things that I hate about the Nissan Rogue. Now, I have to say, a couple of the 5 things that I chose was me nitpicking, because the Nissan Rogue is a good car, but the whole transmission CVT issue really overshadows, really overpowers the good that the car does have to offer. To me, all the good things that the Nissan Rogue does have to offer gets overshadowed by the transmission. That issue to me is not worth all the good that the car does have to offer. I mean, it does get great gas mileage, it's comfortable, it looks good, but that transmission issue to me is just not worth it. I wish I would have known more about the CVT issues before I bought the car, but I didn't. Learning experience, now I know. So I hope you guys found the video informative. If you did, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget, be great.